So let's start with Adam Oshiomhole saying that he has lost trust in INEC. Austin, your opinion.
Osh- Oshiomhole, first of all, who majority of people has totally lost what they call not just even trust. If there's anything little that trust, they've lost everything on Oshiomhole. Has no right or has no moral justification to even say that because we all know how he has been doing and acting. So for him to say he has lost trust in INEC, it shows that he himself is still in a dreamland. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's still sleeping because he thought maybe he can be able to manipulate and do things to be able to get at least to manipulate the vote of the people. For the very first time in the history of Edo State,
Mm.
what it was even more than what happened in 2008 that brought him to power, where the whole people came out en masse and they didn't just only vote, they also stand even under the sun, even inside the rain, to also defend their votes. And for Oshiomhole, I thank God for him for being able to give us someone like Obaseki. Maybe he thought that what they've been doing or how he has been manipulating results. I saw one of his videos when he said for the makers to drive, only people can endure the pain of ringing. So they thought they were able to use the federal mind to do a lot of manipulation,
They
rigging, and
did,
all that.
they did, they did.
They tried, but
Yes,
thank God for
they
Edo people.
did.
As I said before, remember when I said on your program some days ago that we Edo people we are warriors, we are tigers. We hate when you impose anything on us, even if we had it in mind to do that thing before. When you start imposing things on us and you try doing things by yourself, feeling that you are a god, we have a way of resisting things. And Edo people has totally resisted. They totally resist Oshiomhole, resist anybody from Oshiomhole and his godfather, the warlord Tunubu. So we are happy. At least I tell you my joy right now with the little result, with the way things has been going. It's just something I can't just explain that to a extent that I even feel like crying. This is not just only
I think
about
not only
Obaseki.
me, oh, I thought it's only me. Honestly, I was so
It's
happy.
not just only
You know
about
that
Obaseki.
tears of joy. Honestly, you know,
Uh,
Obaseki is a wonderful man, Austin.
you know
Just
why?
like
It's not just only about Obaseki as a person. It's about we Edo people. First of all, let's get those settled down and look how this whole thing how it has been. First, 4 years ago, a short man from one corner of the state who has no property in Benin, who had no property in Benin before he became a governor, where they even rented a house for him in GRA. We all know how Oshiomhole came into
Austin,
politics. It's not what
please.
somebody will explain to me. I know how Oshiomhole came into politics. He became a governor, and the people gave him the free hand to do everything. He started saying one man, one vote. When he was leaving, he brought, he first of all said, we those are to make our own choice. We didn't even make an impose somebody, Obaseki on top. We said, okay. When he was leaving, he brought in Obaseki. He said he worked for him for 8 years, worked with him for 8 years, and he collected salary, the head of his economic team. He now came and swore under a oath by putting his immunity aside and also swear under the name of God that we serve, that he is not lying. And he called the man is now calling his candidate now, that is now calling a saint, the pastor or imam, whichever we could call him now, we don't know. Whether you call him a chief, whether you call him a pastor, whether you call him a man now, you don't know. Because the whole thing is kind of some. And you came now because this man refused to be your puppet. We all know a lot of nonsense Oshiomhole did in Edo State before he left office. First, under the NDDC, they awarded a road. I will later hear that he was given to his deputy under him. 900 million went under the drain, and they didn't do this in Savior Road, and that money went under the drain. This man did just refuse, not because this man is not doing well for Edo people. You just decided to gang up with your people to put it out of office with
Office.
the wayward 14 members member elect that went with him. Why I'm so happy about all these things. I told somebody long ago, I said, come, This election was election between 70% of the people with Obaseki are the youth. Go and look Obaseki, go and look his cabinet, look at the people supporting him. First, for the first time in the history of our state, where you see majority of the people that was totally involved in this election were the youth. And majority of the people that are totally with Obaseki are the youth. Those traditional archaic Edo state politicians who do not have a life outside of politics, over 80% of them are with Oshiomhole and Obaseki because they don't have a life outside of politics. Even their aspirant, Ize. Sometimes I ask, when I see people they were saying they were supporting him, I ask them, tell me one career this man has been successful in your candidate that is making you to not think that we as a people can vote him in to come and manage our treasury. Sometimes, and that's why when you see all the debates, when the debate, the only thing was it kept talking about is security vote, money. No idea, no ideology, no nothing. You are talking about a simple agenda when you yourself has not been able to run a simple life, run a simple business for yourself, the farm business. You've not been able to be productive, even in your ministry as a pastor, where you've not been able. Have you ever seen anywhere in the world where he has been invited to talk on anything, whether to even preach, whether to talk about business, whether to talk about leadership, whether to even talk about the farm that he said he was nowhere and he wants to become a governor? And you expect somebody like me who has my sense intact to clap hand for somebody like this to come and rule Edo State? The reason why I beg my Edo people, and I always tell them, why we don't need to vote for like Oshiomhole or Izeyamu to even give them chance at all in Edo State in our politics. One challenge is this. This is what is happening to Oshiomhole now. Because they do not have a life outside of politics, they don't have any relevance anywhere, whether in the states or the national or anywhere. When they get to power, they want to hold on to power because that's the place where they've been able to get relevance for themselves. For them to be able to gain that relevance, for them to feel that they are still relevant to people, they begin to hold on to power, force things on the people, and begin to see themselves like a god. But for someone who has a life outside of politics, who have managed something, who know that he has a career, you see politics as just a side thing. After my time, I must go back to my business. I must go back to my career. That's why they will make a lot of wealth. You ask, with all the money Oshiomhole stole, I've said it every day, with all the money Oshiomhole stole, because if he didn't steal when he was in office, go and look at the house he has in his village. When Oshiomhole has nothing in Edo State before he became a governor, how much is the salary of a governor? How much is his salary when he was able to build a house worth over many millions of naira? That's the only one we know, plus the one he also has in GROA. So now you settle down and begin to do a lot of things. And this is the same man who brought Buhari to come and commission the specialist hospital, the so-called 5-star specialist hospital that he said put about I think 1.2 billion naira that they used to use to get the equipment. That as we speak today, after 4 years, no single equipment has been brought to that place with the 1.2 billion naira he said on camera. And people sat down to be listening to this man. They were now endorsing him. You know, I told you before. I think it's over many months ago. I said the year we'll have a governor that will think of building Gelegele Seaport in Edo State and doing something that will attract a lot of investors to Edo State is going to have a lot of challenge from the national level, especially from the west, from the west. Because when we can go to build our seaport and the governor decide to do anything at all to the federal government and they can do turn Edo State, we have an international airport in Edo State. A whole lot of companies are going to move to Benin because nobody can leave Edo State when you are driving through Benin. You will not go through there and still go to Lagos when you can do what you want to do in Lagos in Benin. Lagos today is a glorified storm. It's a glorified dome. It's like a dustbin. They are not living in past glory just because they were, at least it was the former capital city of Nigeria and some of the things that was put there. Lagos no longer the way it used to be. That's why if you see everywhere, you see talks everywhere. That's what they wanted to come and turn their do to. And Tinubu was not even ashamed. Just about some few days to election, you came out and was telling Edo people that Obaseki is not a Democrat. That he that has become the thing god in Lagos State, where he feasts and unfeasts, do and undo, empower the lives of MC Aluko and all that in Lagos State, that he now want to come and do same in Edo State with the lives of the lion and tiger.
Yes.
that has nothing, where one tout with no education celebrated that he's now a billionaire. You want those kind of people? A man that said he was a billionaire over 4 years ago. Just 4 years now, they did not give him tax to collect. He started crying, going everywhere. Was it not shameful when you saw the way this guy was going around, even insulting a sitting governor? One, he has no education. Two, he has nothing he has been able to do in his life. He has never worked anywhere apart from collecting tax or doing all sort of nonsense for the so-called short man from the corner of Edo State. Apart from that one empowering him, what else has he do? He has no relevance even to his own family. It's not relevant to his community. He has nothing. He has nothing at all apart from toggery and apart from behaving like
Uh,
a tout
yeah,
that he is.
Austin, I don't want to
It's
cut
shameful.
you. Thank you, Austin. I don't want to cut you off. You will continue. Let me quickly read this comment from Ada Soshomole. What he said after some results came out, he made a statement. I'm going to read it right now. Guys, listen to what he said. We have lost trust in INEC. We won't accept the outcome of this election, said Oshomole. Former national chairman of All Progressive Congress, Adams Oshiomhole, has uh, commended the effort of security operatives and the operation of the electorates for the peaceful atmosphere, just as he condemned INEC over the malfunctioning of card readers at some polling units. Okay. While speaking to the press after voting, Oshiomhole advised the police to watch out for any act of thuggery, as there are speculations that the criminals will arrive to cause intimidation onwards the coalition time. Okay, that's all for now. The news is very short. So Oshiomhole is saying right now that he has lost trust in INEC. Said he has lost trust in INEC because INEC is very fair. I can see it from the result that we are receiving right now. I think INEC is trying to be fair, as what they promised, that a free and fair election, even though the APC tried to compromise INEC workers. But we are saying what God is. Everything that is going on right now is the work of God for me. That's what I would say is the work of God. Otherwise, I don't think it would have been like this, according to the way politicians in Edo State planned against Governor Obaseki. It's just the work of God. Thank you, everyone that participated. Edo citizens in diaspora, Edo citizens in home, everywhere. Thank you guys so much for this awesome jobs. Austin, I'll leave it for you. Go ahead, Austin.
The very truth is this.
Mm.
When I don't know why the journalists still go and interview Oshiomhole and speaking on behalf of APC. First, let them as journalists ask themselves one question: is Oshiomhole today, is he a member of which party does he belong to? Because the last time I heard and what I know, he was suspended not just only as he was suspended as his ward level, so he's no member of APC. Apart from being suspended at that ward level, he's not also before he was suspended at the national level. That's why they were able to suspend at the national level. If he's speaking now, they want to say he's speaking on behalf of, maybe he's speaking on behalf of the PFM, because APC before, according to even the state chairman, they don't have a candidate, and that's why Oshiomhole is speaking on behalf of the EPM, not the APC, because the state chairman and the national chairman, they're recognized by the courts. You remember after they did the illegal primaries in Edo State, wrote INEC, and the letters were all over the different social media and other, wrote them that they did not know about any primaries that was conducted in Edo State. The state chairman wrote, the national chairman at that time wrote, before everything they did, before the president came and gave an order and they set up another critical committee. So that time, at that time, it still stand. That's why if you talk to the APC state chairman, the honorable man, Aslemo Jesua, you hear him say they do not have a candidate in this election.
Edo State,
They,
yeah. He was saying
they
that.
were Oshiomhole was Oshiomhole. See, everything about Oshiomhole is just illegality, and and their desperation in this election. You saw when a whole candidate. Have you ever seen? Sorry to say this. I'm not trying to be very. I'm not trying to be religious. But is there? Have you ever seen anywhere in the world where any Muslim candidate is going for any election? He will go and meet. He will go to the church or go to a Christian gathering where he will kneel down for them to pray for him or confirm a chief title on him. A man who said during Lucky Igbinedion, when the palace, our former father, then the Oba of the Benin, wanted to give him the Chinchasi title, he said, I'm quoting them, he said that he did not accept the Chinchasi title because he is a pastor. You see why I don't take people like this Yamu serious.
That's
why I
what he
tell people
said.
what you say. That's what he said. That's what he said. He did not take the Chinchasi title then because he was a pastor from the kingdom where he came from.
Are you serious?
But when he was not desperate, I'm telling you, I'll look for the video again and give it to you. When he was not going for the governor, now he's not with Oshiomhole. The same man who said he's a pastor went as far as going to the level where he could bow down to a Muslim man. They were saying all their stuff upon him and gave him a chief title to say it is our own. You saw the desperation, and he was not going different kingdom, taking different chief title and all that for a pastor. And you still tell me that same man still has his head or his sanity or his integrity intact. It's funny. A pastor who could kneel down to take a chief title, and you say me that man is still a pastor. Sometimes I just sit down when I hear people talk and they talk about integrity. Then I begin to ask me, is it the integrity that I know, or is there another kind of integrity that they are talking about? Because these people are people who we should not even be debating or even be talking about voting for. If our people, we must get this right. This kind of a people who are not accountable for their words, people who cannot work outside of politics. They are people who should be totally swept out. People like all those are people. When you settle down and look, everybody was supporting Yamu. Samson Sange, who was a lawmaker for 16 good years. Tell me one thing he even did in his village. The chief that said he's a billionaire, he doesn't even have a road to his village. People might say a lot of things about Igbinedion. He did this. Whether we like it or not, Igbinedion has a legacy in Edo State. Igbinedion has created a lot of employed a lot of people, a lot of Edo indigenous, and even people that are not even from Edo State. I have friends that are not even from the state that are working for him.
And it transformed Okada.
Yes.
It transformed Okada to little London for himself.
Go to Okada today. Okada is known around the world. Everywhere you go to in the world, you mention Okada, you see it. The school is there. What did he do? He also took his school to his town. But look at our billionaire that I said is a billionaire. You didn't have anything to put money on. You didn't have any single thing to put money on.
He didn't win his polling unit. He didn't win his polling unit, Austin. He didn't win his polling units. That just shows that he has not been impacting the state. That's why he's not well recognized. You might be a billionaire, fine, but how much have you been impacting your state, your people? You understand that?
Any money or wealth that cannot impact on your people,
yes,
that wealth is a waste. Whatever you have, wealth, skill, or talent that cannot impact on your people positively, not negatively, the way it was trying to impact the people negatively, that wealth is a waste. That wealth is a waste. How do you assess your village as a billionaire? You are wasting money on a candidate, and yet there is nothing you've been able to do for even your people from your village.
For me, it's excitement, it's victory all the way. Although there've been a couple of hinges here and there in Oshiomhole, where I'm from. Because Uronigwe was cancelled, there were a lot of
violence. Yeah.
That's what I got. That Uronigwe was cancelled, and there's another place that they said the votes were burnt. So that's also in Oshiomhole. Otherwise, I must commend the Edo people the way they came out. If somebody like Kabaka could not win his word, even Captain Osa could not win his word,
yes.
That just spoke a lot to the fact that the Edo people want that change that they've been talking about. Because based on what we know that they really pumped in a lot of money. They spent so much money. So everything we were saying, our people were listening.
Yes.
And I must commend the people for that.
Exactly.
They listened, they stood their ground. They collected the money from them, and yes, they didn't vote for that.
Exactly.
They didn't vote for that.
That is what Mr. Daniel said.
The people for that, and this, like I've been telling a lot of people, this election is a reset button for how elections in Nigeria are going to be, conducted. So that's good, because a lot of my friends that are from other states, I have always told them, I say, you guys watch out for a double election, because I've never seen an election like this before in the history of Nigeria.
Yes.
Where individuals believed in the government so much that people in the diaspora were putting their money in this election. I think that is what the opposition did not really understand, because for them, they thought it was a joke. They took
another person. Hello? Excuse me, I'm not taking phone calls now. I have a guest. So just be watching. I'm going to create a time where people can call in. I have a phone number to provide. Guys, if you are watching right now, we give opportunity to everyone to call in and just give us a little bit of your opinion about this, about today's election. Where is that telephone? I'm looking for the telephone. So you know what? I'm going to provide my phone number so that people can call in later. But right now I have a guest, Austin. Austin, go ahead.
The truth is this. She just said something that a lot of people do not know. Even I myself raised my own money and made my own little contribution for the government. Why a lot of us did it is this. Thank God for my years of journalism in Edo State. I was journalist working in ABS during time of no. Do you know, for the very first time in Edo State, in a very long time, for good about 4 years now, we are seeing where you didn't see community fights, community crisis, where one community will be fighting another community, where they have to burn property, kill people dying, and dying as if they were killing animals. This is the very first time, because what the governor did was to totally wipe out the so-called CCDs, and that put a total end to all the nonsense. And since then, you've seen, at least when you get a landed property now in Edo State, you are sure when you buy land and you do your C of O that is yours. You know how many people went from different parts of the world to get different properties in Edo State, that they ended up by going to an early grave just because they went home to go and invest in a landed property. I want talk from one somewhere just say, so now you believe me, and you know a lot of them that were assassinated because of this issue of land in Edo State. Do you know people want to build? You pay money for roofing, pay money for foundation, pay money for this, pay money for this, because of touts, court boys everywhere making money because they don't want to work. You see Edo State now, there is sanity in our streets. You see serenity everywhere. You see peaceful. No longer the way it used to be, where one man think is God. Called boy, it's a chair. When was the last time you hear in Edo State? It's a chair. There's a chair there. That word is a chair there was so annoying to some of us when we hear it's a chair there. Chairman church of money. You go to our bus drivers. Apart from paying for ticket, they will come and collect a chairman that is not lame, a chairman that is not dumb, a chairman that is not sick. They will collect money for chairman of money after paying for tickets. When chairman is doing birthday, you'll be seeing them doing birthday runs simultaneously in Edo State, in a Kewan Road, Upper Bobai, and all of that, for one chairman that is not sick, because he was just collecting our money, revenue money, to enrich himself. And people were clapping. These are not the way to go. You could see the way government bureau, with everything they've even said and done to even the government, with all the abuse and all that. You saw a man who will just sit down and just relax, who believe in the rule of law, doesn't do anything. What Oshiomhole did, what Oshiomhole and the so-called lion or tiger has done to Obaseki, they cannot tolerate even 5% of it. I said it. A lot of people that did not support Oshiomhole then, a lot were arrested. One of the people that was arrested was Kokotisugbo, the activist. He was arrested because he was not in the same page with Oshiomhole. But you see a lot of people who have totally turned against Obaseki, abused him, do a lot of things. Nobody was arrested. Nobody was done anything. Even when they even attacked him and his friends, his colleagues, the other governors from other states, in the front of the palace, they booed him, said all sorts of nonsense about him. He never said anything. He kept where nobody was arrested. But Oshiomhole, you could see his level of radicality. You see the way he talks when he's going around talking as if he's a god. Sometimes when I hear him talk, I begin to ask myself and say, this man, waiting he get for chest, waiting who he get for back.
Oshiomhole.
Not just only Oshiomhole. Oshiomhole was talking like that. The so-called tout, who has no education, who has never worked anywhere before, that called himself a billionaire because he saw those treasury, was even talking as if he was not speaking for the people.
So these are the people who were buying votes, who were buying.
The sponsorizer gave him money to be buying votes. We have the video evidence, we have the money, and we have the 2 men on ground. Before you get money to the other thing, our now you are a lawyer, you can buy votes. Now you are a lawyer, you can buy votes. Now you are more than you cannot respect. Okay, that no, Mr. Mark. Listen to me. That you said that you know what is electoral offenses and you can commit the offense as nothing will happen. You just go, you declare. Don't worry. We follow you. You follow Sabuja. You don't know where you belong. You don't know. You are not working for somebody. Let me tell you that.
Hey, Austin, the drama is just too much today. The drama, Lord. You know, APC, they try their best to compromise security agents, to compromise INEC workers. Still, the gap is just too high that they try to narrow the gap down a little bit in some areas. However, the gap was just too obvious for them to manipulate.
The truth is this. If the people were really ready for liberation and ready for things that don't work. Let me tell you something what happened to today. I called one of my friends. When we were talking, he said he called the mom early in the morning and said, just to check, mommy, how you did? How you do work? I in the house, so you know they go anywhere. That the mom could say, I they go out, so I want go vote. An old woman over 70 something, close to 80. Why? He say, me. I don't go vote. My person who I not distress myself for almost 4 years now. You want me them stop her. That he herself now remember that during Oshiomhole's tenure, the mom went one of the days doing protest. She fell from the staircase and she got injured. But since Obaseki came in, she has not left her house apart from going to collect her money, bank and all that. No longer stress for those pensions. You expect people, the pensioners who have not been protesting and they've not been nothing has been going on with them stressing themselves for their pension. You expect the civil servant who get their salaries at when even during COVID, when a lot of APC governors are struggling to even pay, even with the SS borrowing. You expect even parents of those students that their governor is trying to do a lot of things to create the right form for them to school to get the best of education to now vote APC candidates. Or you expect the people who have been harassed, they've been harassed over time by Oshiomhole's boys during his 8 years. The market women that were insulted, the bus drivers that were beaten, lot were injured, beaten to stupor, a lot they destroyed their vehicles, they destroyed everything. You expect all those people, the right thinking one among them, to now stand and say they want to cast their vote for APC? Or do you expect the little business owner, the small business owners that were harassed, sent packing by Oshiomhole, by through his boys. Do you know how many bus drivers were beaten up? Even some of them old enough to even be grandfathers. Or is it the market women who were going about their daily, apart from collecting excessive money from them? A lot of them were beat. You see the way these young boys, this tout, insulting people's wife, insulting married women, and molesting them just because they were collecting revenue. Those things are stopped. You now expect those people, with everything these governors know to do for them, to now return power back to thugs. See, whether we like it or not, Oshiomhole may have done a little. Oshiomhole's administration, he himself, because he believes in thuggery, because he is a thug, because he doesn't also have the education, and he was not trying to talk to somebody who went to school, that even the university went to, I said he attended the school. He was not saying, who is Oshiomhole? Oshiomhole has no right to question anybody, to question the character of anybody. He is not in the position to question anybody, because this is a man who has no character. Just common primary six certificate that they accused him of. Our Ministry of Education, was totally burnt down. As we speak to today, me and you cannot get our primary six as a result again. They burned down the exams and record of our Ministry of Education just because he knows that he has not. Let him tell us the school he went to in Benin, or the school he went to in Nigeria, the higher institution he went to. Let him come out and say it, as Governor Wike asked him. Then such a man was open, come out and was accusing Obaseki, somebody who has been able to do a whole lot for himself. Tell Oshiomhole, read Oshiomhole, come and read his biography. Apart from being a labor leader and a former governor, tell me what business he has built, which career he has been successful, plus his candidates. Members of APC, all of them that were queuing behind this candidate, go and read their biography and tell me one thing they've been able to do for themselves. Even the billionaire who said he had been able to make a small billion. You saw what Amechi accused him of. A lot of things he was done. If it's where, see, characters that are supposed to be in jail, in a sane society, where things are done well, lawfully and done well. Those people that are supposed to be in prison by now will come out and say they want to put somebody, give us a governor, and they do it with everything that they have. And you expect us to fold hand and just look at you to impose something. After spending all the billion to fix him in office, where are you now going to make the money that you spend from? Is it not from our treasury? Like Tinubu being interested in those state politics, is it not everything that they are going to take over? It's funny. Even the people that voted for APC, people that voted for APC, I see them as people who do not really understand what life is.
They think they can unleash their mayhem on us.
See,
they are wasting
as
their
it was
time.
said before, Edo not be Lagos. We Edo people, we are fighters. We resist anything that want to impose things on us. That's who we are. That's our nature.
We are very resistant in nature. Yes. Look at our
That's
history.
our nature. We don't just hold down and let one man begin to dictate for us. Tinubu, with all the things we've seen, somebody with nothing, somebody with no character at all, who has forced himself on Lagosians, where he has become the 18th god.